Hello everybody, my name is CityZilla and we are playing City Skylines. Today we are in the city of Canalville where we are going to be finishing off our downtown. And so on the last episode we worked on this middle island and I gotta say I think it looks fantastic. I like how we did this little park like waterfront area in the front, and then we did some tents and this planter, and I think it really helps to complement the Theater of Wonders. I really like this waterfront island as well, this like tourism. We got these hotels in, and then some parking and this whole like beach kind of area. Even though it's not really a beach, I still think it kind of satisfies that craving for a lot of people, and so I really like it. And today we are going to be working on this island, and I have something special. Make sure you stay tuned. And then I think we are going to turn this island into a bridge over here. I was kind of looking at this road and I was like, man, if we only have one connection, this is going to create a huge bottleneck for this area. And so I think we're going to end up doing something here, but then have a road go across, extending to this area as well, which I think this is going to be more of a standard downtown. I want to do like a business district, but then we are going to do a canal going in and some other fun things. And then after looking at some of the comments, I think we are going to do the airport over in this area. It's pretty large, it's flat. We still do need to do some landscaping, but I think this is going to be a good location for it. It's pretty centralized, it's close to the freeways. We're going to have this freeway running to it as well. And I think it's going to be a really great location for it, especially if we do another downtown right there. And initially I was looking at this one, but I don't know if the city would actually put it here since there's nothing else on this side. And I know with airports, you're really looking for accessibility. And so I think this is going to be our best place. The first thing I want to do is do some tidying up. We have a couple issues that are plaguing our city right now. One of them is this traffic issue that we ended the last episode on, and it's actually a really quick fix. We're just going to go into the picker mod. We're going to grab this road. We're going to go to upgrade, and we are going to add this asymmetric road over here. And I want it to be 2 lanes going all the way back since we're not really having an issue over here. And then now what I want to do is jump into traffic manager, and we're going to go to the lane connector. And I want to make sure that people aren't changing lanes in the middle of this. They need to choose their lane back here when the lane initially opens. And then we're going to go to lane arrows and go Control Shift click. But then I want to jump back in here and make this the straight line. I don't want people to block this right turn because with the time traffic lights, which we have set up here, the right turn actually is open for 2 lights. And so I don't want to block that. I want people to be able to take that turn as quickly as possible. And so I do want to upgrade this other side as well though. And we definitely don't need it to be a ground piece. I'm going to turn on anarchy and then switch that back. And that should be good right there. And then let's go ahead and open up this intersection just a little bit more too. Jump into node controller. It doesn't need to be crazy, just a little bit. But then I think we had another issue with this next intersection down here. I think we had a light here for some weird reason. Yeah, we did. So we're going to up, and it looks like they can already go through. And so now that honestly should help out this area so much. All these people are going to be forced to go right since we upgraded in the middle of that. You can kind of see anybody who wants to go straight or left, they can now choose so right here. And so as this backs up, there's just going to be way more room for everybody else. And this really should help out a ton with this area. And look at that, we're already in such a better spot. I do want to tell people to continue right here though too. I don't want them stopping at that weird little like wannabe junction crossing. All right, and so I ended up extending this one out a little bit further too, just because we can. And it does again open up this other lane for people to back up on. I want people to choose their lane back there as well. I don't want them switching in here and blocking people. And so that should really help out a lot. We still do have a little bit of a backup, but we're going to let that run for a second and then we'll come back and kind of check up on it. But I really think that that's going to solve the problem. And so the second thing I want to do is do some walking paths. I really want to connect up these areas, especially looking at this poor ferry stop. This has like 300 people in it. The last time I checked, let's jump in there real quick. So is it ferry line 3? Yeah, so 230, which is a problem. And so we definitely want to provide a little more access for these people. And so I think we are going to do a path right here, and we're going to have to get rid of a building, but it's okay. This is in the name of progress. So we're going to go up. I believe it's 39. Yep. We're going to come across and we're just going to try to get rid of one. So I'm actually going to restart. Yeah, go like right there. And then we are going to come down and just connect it up. I kind of wish we could curve right there, but I don't want to get rid of all that zoning. I feel like a lot of that zoning would still be pretty important for us. And so then we're going to turn this way and then go to the ground. And then this way I want to kind of curve it, just make it follow that key wall a little bit. Yeah, you know what, that right there is pretty good. And then I am going to jump in to move it and shift this guy around. And then that way we have some nice access for this area now, and it is tall enough to get the ferries through. It does look like we have a pillar right here. That would definitely be a problem for our poor ferries. And so now let's jump over to the next spot. And I think what we're going to do is bulldoze this planter. And then we are going to make a path right here. Nice. Super easy. I curved it into the key wall again. I think it looks pretty good. It is kind of tall, and it does look like we're missing a pillar. So I'm actually going to grab this, copy it, and then come over here and replace it, because not having a pillar there would probably be not safe. I mean, that would definitely be a huge oversight for the engineers. And so I do want to do a couple more crossings over here, though. So I think we are going to do... I would like to get one in right here, but I don't know if we can get that. Let's go ahead. I think we're going to do it just because I feel like it's going to add a lot of value for this area. So then we're going to do the same thing. Just jump in here. I want it to go in between. I don't really want to mess up any of this. And just have it go across. And I think we may end up having to delete some housing, but I'm going to do my best to squeeze this in here and see what we can get. Okay, so I was able to get that in. I did have it turned to the left. I wanted to initially get it both ways, but just wasn't connecting up over here that well, and so I think that's going to be good. Go ahead and unpause it. I do want to put one over here as well, and I think we're going to lose our little farmer's market for this. And it really sucks. The citizens have probably gotten used to this, and having little amenities like that are really nice for your city too. I love having like little farmers markets to go to and stuff like that. Get like local produce and stuff like that. And so we are going to do the same thing here. Just go across. Perfect. Look at that. I like it. And this right here is just going to improve so much connectivity for our area. You'd be surprised how just a couple little paths can really change your city, especially in terms of traffic and overall maneuverability. This is something that they do in real cities as well. I know in Las Vegas, there are quite a few walking path networks, and they have some really cool ones too, like big bridges and stuff like that. And then they have ones where they cut behind residential, and it really just, it's definitely a great amenity for people. And it actually promotes more exercise as well for a lot of younger people and stuff like that, like walking to places you need to go to rather than driving, especially in America, because America is just so car centric. And go like that. Nice. Look at that. We're chugging along today. I'd really like to get one over here too if we can. I think that would be great. We do have this connection right here, but I feel like if we could get something right here, this would just be so awesome. Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to be able to. Look at that. Now we have so much connectivity, and we are just going so well. And I do want to connect to this one up too. This front island is really where a lot of our problems are. We don't have any outside connections to it other than the freeway, which people can't walk on, or the ferry, which is why that ferry has so many people trying to take it. And we do have an issue where we have some private property over here. So we technically can't build up there. So we're going to go like this, and then we're going to go back into the freeform tool and then come down, and look at that. So now we have some nice connectivity, and we'll probably end up connecting this up as well and then connecting that up. So now let's check it out. Let's see how many people are using them. So people are using this one. We got some people using this one. Looks like we got like nobody using this one. I wonder if this path is connected up to anyone else. So let's come in here, and we're just going to connect this up a few times. And there we go. And then we already do have that connection right here with this kind of fancier bridge. I actually really like this. I like the switchbacks that we did. I think that looks pretty cool. And so now what I want to do is jump into our centerpiece. And I'm going to kind of warn you guys before we do this. I definitely got a little crazy with this. I had gotten a suggestion from one of my more loyal commenters, Base. And he had mentioned something about doing a fountain. And so my initial idea was to do a tiered centerpiece with a huge skyscraper. And then when he had mentioned fountain, my whole idea just got spun. And so what we're saying is Joe Ferry has decided to put his centerpiece of the Ferry Empire on this island. And because he has invested so heavily in this city, he really wants to make it grand. He wants to do something big. And so the city has backed him. They've given him clearance. He's going to do an extremely tall building, and he wants to do waterfalls around the outside. So we are going to start off by leveling it out like that. And then what we're going to do is actually place our building down. So we're going to jump in here, and we're going to go to a 1-unit road because we need to maximize space. I'm going to come up here and then have it go across. And it doesn't really matter if it's straight right now, because we are going to come back and straighten it out. And so I got these awesome buildings off the Steam Workshop. I believe they are called the Wisdom Towers. I believe, yeah, Wisdom Tower A. And so it goes this way and then this way, I believe. Let's go ahead and look at those little guys. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. And then what we're going to do is it comes with this little centerpiece that we're going to put right in the middle. And then what we're going to do is move these over just a smidge. Yeah, we'll come up like right there and right there because we want that centerpiece to be kind of open in these pillars as well. I think this looks great. I think it's interesting that they put these little sides kind of not in the same location on both buildings, but I think it looks good. And the cool thing about this building is these little spirals right here. So at night they actually light up. So Joe Ferry's actually decided to do a whole color scheme for this island as well. And I think it is just going to be really awesome. And so now what we are going to do is jump in here, go to a 2-unit road, not a 4-unit road, and then connect it up like right in the middle. And I'm going to turn on snapping just so I can get a nice 90. And then what we're doing is putting a metro stop up here. And then we are actually going to be extending the metro line as well over to our stadium district and possibly one more location. Kind of got ahead of myself on the last episode, and I didn't really think about how we were going to have a ferry line come or a metro line come through here. And so I think we are going to be placing a metro stop somewhere along the lines. It looks like we might be able to squeeze one in right there, but then have it come through here and then eventually stop at our stadium. Maybe actually we'll come around the outside. So now we will do the move it mod, and let's go ahead and select all this. I don't want to select the key wall. I'm going to come up over here and then we want to turn this. Yeah, look at that. I think that looks pretty good, and it is a little off. I'm not too worried about it though. And then what we're going to do is jump in here and go to keys, and I'm going to draw this around. We are going to jump into the network multi-tool and go to this arrange circle mode. And what that does is it gives you a nice perfect circle, and we are going to hit enter. Nice, look at that. It actually looks pretty good. It doesn't look like it's too off. But I do want to delete this and then redraw it in with a regular key wall. I don't want a walking key down there. I want one that's actually going to just block the water. So we're going to come up here and do the same thing and go like that. And then we are going to jump in here and grab that guy and then hit enter. Nice. Look at that. And it does look like we actually went a little bit bigger unintentionally, but I think it looks good. I'm not too worried about it. We do need to select it all though and then bring it to the right height. So we are going to grab these nodes, go all the way around, and then Control H on this key wall over here because we want it to be the same height. And you know what? I think that looks pretty good minus this whole rocky bit right here. So we're going to jump into the level terrain tool. I'm going to grab that and I'm just going to level all this out. And you guys are probably thinking, what is he doing? This is crazy. Why would a ferry company invest in a metro station? And that's kind of what I was thinking too, but I think they're trying to diversify since the city invested so heavily in metro. Joe Ferry has been investing in metro as well, and it's actually kind of smart. You know, you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. So we're going to go like that, and you know what? I think this looks fantastic. And so now we are going to jump in here, go to metro, go to our lovely metro tracks, and then go over to the network multi-tool and go to create connection mode. Grab this line and grab this line as well, and then we are going to choose the respective directions, and then what we're going to do is move this over. So I want it to be like right about there. Maybe we'll curve this a little more, so we'll go like right there, and then this one does need to be a little bit sharper, so I want it to be parallel with this highway. I think that right there looks fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter, and then we will come back through. Oh man, we had forced ground piece, of course. So we're going to come back through and upgrade these. And so now what we need to do is jump into the movement mod, grab this node and just increase it enough to be taller than those lights, because I don't think having a metro line right in the middle of that road is the safest. And so the city has decided to upgrade it a little bit. Now we're going to go to set slope mode, grab this line, grab this one, hit enter. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, grab that same node and then go over here. And what that does is it just uses that node as like the anchor point. So whenever you grab the two, what it does is levels it all out in the middle. It's just such a great leveling trick. And so it does look like we have a pillar right in the middle of our highway. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this probably isn't the safest. So maybe if we just move this over just a smidge, probably go like right there. Nice. Crisis averted. And so now what I want to do is actually upgrade this road to a 4-unit road. It's kind of funny. I was thinking that at first, and then come completely got sidetracked. And so now we want to come up over here and we are going to connect this up to the highway. So we're going to go like right there. And I know this looks a little crazy, but I think it looks great when we're finished. And so bear with me. So we're going to go like this. And what we're going to do is just raise this enough to like right there. Then I'm going to move this back so we can get rid of that weird kind of ground piece down there. And then let's go ahead and slope this as well, just so we can get a nice angle on that middle piece. We'll go like right there. And you know what? I think that looks fantastic. I think we may get rid of these bridge pieces though. I don't know if that really goes in with the area. So I think we are going to upgrade these to just go like that. Yeah, I think that looks good. We don't really need those bridge pieces in there. Now what we're gonna do, I went ahead and got a waterfall piece off of the Steam Workshop, and I was kind of Googling around, and this was actually the first time that I saw this. And it's actually an animated waterfall. I really like it. I think this thing looks great. So if you plop it down and then you hit play, look at that thing. Man, there's so much that you can do with this. It is really crazy. It's clear from the other side, but if you get it on this side. And so now I am also going to cheat. So if you use procedural objects, so you grab your thing, convert to PO, place it down, then you jump in here, go to edit, customize, grab all of these, hit scale, and just increase it. And this is, you know, procedural objects seems like a really crazy mod, but it's really not. It's actually that simple. And then using the movement mod with the little PO thing selected, I can then move this around and it is bigger. You see that? Man, now we've really stepped this up to a whole different level. What I'm going to do is go ahead and place these waterfalls all the way around. And then I'm going to do waterfalls on the bottom as well. And we're going to turn the bottom section into a large fountain. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and do some planters in between the waterfalls and do some grass networks and then some nice flowers and everything. And then I think for the top, we're going to do pathways all the way around. I want to put in some gazebos so that people kind of have an overlook. And again, because Joe Ferry is so invested in this city, he really wanted to make this into a space where people would come and they'd be able to look off the quay wall and really enjoy the sights of everything. And so he wanted to create a nice centerpiece for our downtown. And I think this is really going to work. And so I'm excited for everybody to see it. I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead now. And here we go. I definitely spent way too much time on this. And you know, it's so funny. There's probably easier ways to do a lot of what I did, but I ended up having to place down all these little water pieces individually. And that's why I couldn't do the time lapse. It was literally just the same thing over and over again, placing down little water segments, moving along, placing down little water segments. And I probably had to place down, I don't know, probably like a couple hundred of them, maybe quite a bit of them. And then I decided to do these little, the white curbs with these small ponds at the top of each of the fountains, because I wanted to leave some space up here for, like a park area so that people can walk around. And then I did gazebos. So we actually have people walking around and enjoying the space. And I did flowers around the front side. And you know what? I like how it turned out. And I even did some lights as well. So if we jump into play it over here and we just dump it over into night view real quick. And there we go. So I really like how this looks. I like the orange in this. And then I went ahead and put orange lights along the waterfalls as well. It's not definitely not as orange as the building, but I think it looks really good. And I really think this is a great addition for Joe Ferry and the Fairy Empire. And it is an awesome centerpiece for the city. So let's go ahead and jump into play it and remove it back today. Let's go like that. I really love this mod. It's so much easier than the Ultimate Eye Candy. Ultimate Eye Candy, you had issues switching between day and night, and Play It is just so much easier. But I think this is a great addition. I really like it, especially the waterfalls. This is definitely, I've never done anything like this before. And so basically all I did was use those waterfalls all the way around, and then water tiles. So within Find It, you just search up water, turn off vanilla. And I have this water decal that I've been using for a lot of my smaller fountains. You just go ahead and place them in. And then I did these little planters and then kind of made it look like a body of water. I wish it actually was flowing like this. I initially tried to do some active water in here, but it was going to be a little too difficult with the top tier. If it was just one big one, then I probably could have made it work. But I felt like this was the best that we could do. And I think it turned out well. Okay, and so now what I want to do is figure out what we're going to do with our metro. So I feel like, so we have it coming this way. We have a pretty decent connection right here. And so now that we have this bridge, people will be able to walk over here, which I think is going to be great. Initially, I wanted to make a connection over here, but I just don't think it's going to work out that well. So if we back out a little bit, I think if we come this way and then turn down, I want to come up over here, and then I think we can extend one of these two islands. I'm thinking this one with the elementary because of how wide it is. So if we go ahead and grab these nodes using the Move It mod, I'm going to come in here and we should be able to just grab this and extend it out. We need to go probably about like right there. And then because we are messing with the symmetry, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this. I'm just going to bring it out. Let's see. So that looks pretty good right there. And then I'm going to jump into the level terrain tool. We're going to grab this guy and we are going to level all this out. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to do the same thing here. Level it all out. Perfect. And then let's go ahead and hit play so that we can see if we have any major flooding issues. We really shouldn't, but you never know. You got to be careful sometimes. And so we're going to hit play, and it looks like we're pretty good. Doesn't look like, because it was such a small shift, maybe, we do have some flooding, so let's go ahead and let it run real quick before we start building anything. All right, and so I think what we're going to do, now that we have a little bit more space, we can have the metro come up through here, come up over here, and then do a station right here. I don't particularly like how close it is to that elementary, so I think what we'll do is we will move this around and do a combined elementary high school area. So we will shift this over, go like right there, and then let's go ahead and turn it like that. Yeah, that'll be good. And then let's turn this as well and shift this down. And then what we're going to do is grab a small road. So we'll jump into a 1-unit road, go like this, and then grab this, come down. It actually looks like I'm not in the middle. So we're going to go like that, and then we're going to fix that. So we're going to shift it over just a little bit, and then we will have this come out. And this actually affords us a little more space to add in a couple other things. So we will jump out of here and let's grab this and move it over. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. And we could add in, I would like to add in a small playground since it's an elementary school. I feel like that would be good. That looks pretty good right there. And you know, I like it. I think it's a great addition for the area. We did lose a little bit of our landscaping, and it looks like we need to get rid of just a couple of these trees, and then what I'm going to do is move these a little bit and move that over there. All right, so now that we got that, I think it looks good. I kind of wish we could fit in the community center, but I think that it's going to be a little too tight. And so now let's go ahead and remove that, and then this actually works out because we have that lovely plaza right there, so we can go ahead and extend this out. I'm going to turn on snapping so we can get a nice 90 off of this, and it looks like we need to go a little bit further. We'll go like right there. Yeah, perfect. And then let's jump in here now to our transport tab. We're going to use the same one that we did on the other side. And so we're going to go like right there. And I actually think I'm going to flip it. And the reason I'm going to flip it is because it just provides a little more room for turning on this side. And so now let's jump into our Metro tab. We're going to go like right here. And then let's jump in here and go to complete connection mode. And let's see what this thing comes up with. So if we come down here, I would like it to turn here and then curve around this. So I think if we go like right there, and what I want to do is flip sides. So we'll go like right here, and let's go ahead and make this a little bit wider. And you know what? I feel like that's a pretty nice little, we're going to go ahead and hit enter and see what it comes up with. And again, we're on forest ground piece. I can't believe I did that. Wow. That's okay. So we're going to come back through and just force elevated piece and upgrade it all. Not the end of the world. And so it should actually be a nice even slope already, but I'm going to check it just in case. So we're going to come in here and we're going to grab that. Yeah, you know what? It is perfect. And I actually really like it. We do need to come back through and do some of our pillars because it appears as though a lot of our pillars are kind of missing. And there we go. So I got supports going all the way down. I tried to avoid any ferry right away or path right away so that we wouldn't have any Sims kind of walking through. And it looks like we have enough clearance for our road. And I really like this. I think this is just such a great addition for the area. I think it's smart. And so now let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to do over here. Let's jump into our unique buildings. Let's go to stadiums. I actually don't think it's in there. I think it's in here. So if we go to varsity sports, so I wanted to do either this FedEx Forum or this one, which is actually the Minneapolis Vikings football stadium. And it's kind of funny. I have the Raider Stadium too, which this is a stadium that Las Vegas just built. Spent a ton of money on it. It's really cool. I have some video of it, and it is just such a massive building. It is huge, huge stadium. I think we're going to end up doing this Minnesota Vikings one. I think it is a great match for this city. I like that it has the translucent roof. So we are going to come in here. We're going to turn this sideways, and we're going to go back into that tab. I'm going to place it down, And then I want to figure out the best spot for this. So I want it to be as far right as we can get it. Nice. I think that is pretty good. And I really like this stadium. I think it is such a great fit for this city. I love the translucent roof. And then it has like this whole little area over here with the screen and everything. I would imagine that this would maybe even be the entrance. Yeah, it looks like that's the entrance. So maybe we'll even turn this sideways. I think that looks fantastic. I really like that. Yeah, I think it is great. Such a great little addition for our city, and I love that it has the screens and the little entrance right here. Now let's figure out what we're gonna do with this metro station and then our general road layout here. Okay, so then for this road, what I want to do is have it connect up a little bit down here. So we're gonna go straight from right there, and then we're gonna come up here in the same spot, go straight from right there, and then what we're gonna do is jump into the freeform tool, and we are going to connect it up like right here, and then we're going to do the same thing on this one, connect it up like right there. And the reason we're doing this is because I want to have a nice even transition for this. So then we are going to change directions on that, and then we will grab this and go straight, connect it up, and we'll do the same thing on this side, but then we will change directions. And then let's go ahead and jump into node controller now, and we should be able to increase this just a little bit. We don't need to get crazy with it, but it does look like we have a node right here too. Let's go ahead and remove that and then jump back into node controller. I think that looks pretty good right there. I think it looks fantastic. I do want to grab these nodes though and then make them the same height as that so that we can have a nice even transition. And so the goal is for me to do like another little plaza right here. We're going to do the metro station with some shops in here since this would be like a stadium district. All right, so now what we're going to do is jump into our transport tab, and we're going to use this nice glass elevated bypass metro station. We don't necessarily need it for this area, but because it is going to be a tourist destination, we want to try to make it a little bit nicer. And so we're going to come up over here, we're going to extend it out, and then we will grab that metro station and go like right here. And then now let's jump back into our tracks. Yeah, perfect. Hit enter. And now this provides us a little opportunity to do maybe some zoning or maybe park space on this other side. I feel like that would just be really awesome, because we could even go into the tourism tab for the parks, maybe do like a, I don't know, like the fishing pier or the restaurant pier. I think that could be fun right here. So then it kind of turns into an all-day thing where you can kind of bring the kids. Maybe you're going to the game later in the day and you're going to grab something to eat and go to the fishing pier and just have a good time with your family. And so now we'll go into the Metro line tool, and all we need to do is grab this line and come all the way down and then connect it up. And then what we need to do is make sure that there's lines going on either direction and grab that. And there we go. And so now we have a nice, lovely metro line that goes all the way around. Let's go ahead and check that one out. So if we go to this one, Metro Line 3, high capacity, yeah, perfect. Let's see how many people are using them so far. So it's actually, I mean, it's not a ton, but one thing that this is going to do is it's going to help people who are down here to get over to the transfer center. And so I feel like this is going to be a lot of accessibility for this line. And so I think what we're going to do is jump into the Move It mod, go here, and we're going to extend this out just a smidge. Not a lot, but just enough so that we don't clip that building. I feel like that would be pretty important. So then we will come this way and drag it all the way down, and we're going to be able to put some nice zoning and just some small little shops or something down here. I feel like it's going to be a really fun area. And so this area right here affords us a little opportunity as well. And then I think this area over here too, because we could have this turn and go this way, and then we could have this turn and go that way too. I think maybe we'll have it go this way and then connect up. Yeah, there we go. Provide some interest too. Instead of just doing your standard grids everywhere, sometimes it's nice to just draw in a couple little patterns here and there. We'll go like that, and we'll force ground piece. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and cross over as well. So we're going to come down this way and just connect it up right there. Nice. I feel like that looks pretty good. I do want this to be lowered though, so I'm going to grab that and Control H on the ground, just because I want to be able to get some zoning and stuff over there. I don't want to get boxed in. And so now let's go ahead and connect this up just once, and we'll go ahead and follow the lead with that other one. So we'll use that 2-unit road and we'll connect that up. And you know what? I feel like this is going to be a nice little area. We might end up running into some traffic issues, but what I'm hoping is by having the metro stop, it's really going to help it out. Because I think too, we could also add in a ferry stop, especially with this being such a large investment by the city. It would be fair to assume that a ferry stop would be in here too. So I think if we come down here and put in a ferry stop like right here, yeah, this would be a great area for it. Because then what we can do is go ahead and turn this, and then I'm going to jump into the network multi-tool, unlock this, And then we will upgrade that to our lovely 1-unit road. Nice, look at this, perfecto. And then let's go ahead and turn this, go like that. And I think that looks pretty solid. I do want to reconnect this up though. So we're gonna go like that, and I'm just gonna clean this up real quick. And there we go. And so now it does look like we need to mess with our terrain a little bit. We kind of got some up and down going action happening in here. So I'm going to smoothen all this out, and we could come back through and just level it out. It's only in this area though, and it's because it has to be raised with the bridges. So I'm not super worried about it. I don't want to just come through and level it all. And so now let's go ahead and figure out what kind of zoning. I think if we did leisure in here, that would be great. You get a lot of those like bowling alleys and bars and stuff like that. And I think it turns into a really fun area. A lot of things that you do see in tourism areas like this, and so I feel like it's going to be really fitting. And so now what I want to do is jump back into our parks, and I think we are going to place a couple of these, maybe even just one, do the restaurant pier. So if we place that down, and then what we can do is grab it and then not bulldoze it, grab it with the move it mod, and then shift it down enough to where that platform doesn't block our key wall. And you know what? I think that is a pretty good addition for our little area. I could end up putting in more, but I think by having the one right here, it kind of just makes it a little more important rather than scattering a bunch of them around. And so now let's jump in here. I think we are going to remove zoning off of this main road. So we'll go like this all the way down, and this allows us to get full zoning off those back roads, but then it also just makes it a little bit cleaner. We're going to remove zoning off that whole middle section. We'll go ahead and remove zoning off of this as well, since that's going to be our entrance, and we really don't want to mess with that. And so I ended up putting in this road as well so that we could get some more full zoning over here, but then it also kind of creates a separate space for the ferry stop, which I think is going to be really nice. I do want to hook up this ferry stop too before we forget, so we're going to jump in here. I feel like the ferry line's right there. So we'll come in here and draw our ferry path, jump back over there, go to freeform, go like this, and then connect it up. And then what we can do is have this turn around, go like that, and then jump back in here. And then now we should be able to just grab one of these and bring it all the way down. And then we'll grab the opposite side as well and then bring it down. This does kind of make it go out of the way, but I feel like it's going to be a nice addition for this area. So they're going to turn here and then come down and then go back. All right, and so now we have ferry access, and I want to jump in here and start doing some zoning in here. So I think we're going to do low density commercial, and I want to fill in this whole middle gap in here. I think we're going to remove zoning on that, and then let's jump back in here, fill this up. And again, I would prefer the zoning to be off of those other roads. We're going to do this, do that, and then come up over here. And I don't want zoning in that little bit. We're going to do the same thing here, fill that in, and we'll fill that in as well. We'll do this over here, and then we're going to fill that in. And I feel like that right there is going to be great. Maybe we'll even do these because, yeah, this is going to provide even more like little shops and points of interest and stuff like that, which I think is going to be great. Let's go ahead and see what kind of buildings come in there, because we might come back through and change some of them. But what I'm hoping for is like little bars and like movie theaters. Like this is a game hall, and it looks like this is another game hall. So Play All You Want Arcade, which is just great. I mean, they're competing. They're right next to each other. So, you know, nothing's better than a little friendly competition. And then it looks like we got, yeah, like seafood delicacies. So this is a nice little restaurant diner. That actually looks really cool. But then we got like a little Italian restaurant or something that looks good. Somewhere you can bring your family. That's really what it's all about. And so now what I want to do is come through here and do some decorating. I want this middle plaza to be something that is really inviting and majestic. Something that you're going to just look at and think is really cool. And so I think we will go ahead and do a fountain and then some nice planters and stuff. I could do a statue or something like that. I just don't really know what we would do. It does look like there's a game though. So I think we're going to go like this. And we're going to come across. And then we're going to go down and connect it up. Are they going in the side? Oh, that's so funny. I thought the entrance was going to be on this. It looks like this is the entrance. And yet they're all running over there. Well, I guess, you know, it's not the end of the world, but that's so funny. I could have swore that the entrance was on this side. We are going to allow all these people to run to their lovely game. And so now let's jump in here. I believe 16 meters is probably good. And you know, a basic little fountain is pretty good. I think this is going to be fantastic. Man, you can really see all these people coming now. Look at all these. They're all just pumped for the game. One thing I don't really like about this stadium is that the capacity is really low. Yeah, 750. Whereas the stadium that we just recently did in Crater Lake's like 2,000. And so I definitely wish we could adjust that. If anybody knows of any mods where you can adjust like the limit for that, let me know. I haven't run across anything like that, but so now we will do some jets across, and I feel like this is going to be good. I think we'll do a couple paths in here and then do some trees and stuff. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a time lapse of all that, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And there we go. I got a lot of the detailing done, but I wanted to stop real quick because the game just ended and I want to see what all these people are doing. Look at them. Man, I just love this. You know what we don't have is a pedestrian path over here, so I think a lot of these people are going to walk up here and try to walk across this bridge, which isn't the greatest. Yeah, they all are. Look at them. I love these trees. I like how they get them to overhang over the road like that. They would be trimmed to where they wouldn't be hitting people, but I really like it when you have tree-lined areas like that. And so, yeah, it definitely looks like they're all coming this way. A lot of them are hopping into their cars, but the maneuverability in this city is still pretty good, so they might be walking over here. I was kind of hoping some of them were going to walk over here, but it appears as though not a lot. Like maybe some, but definitely not a lot. So we need to do some pathways. So I'm going to jump in here. We're going to come up over here, and let's figure out... Yeah, you know what? This spot right here actually looks really good. So we're going to go up to 39. We're going to come across. And let's go ahead and go down. I like it when you get a lot of bridges. I think it just adds a really cool aesthetic to your cities. So we're going to go like that. And then because we can, we'll even come up over here and connect this up as well. Oops. Go like that. And then I believe I connected up the keywall in a lot of other places. So let's go like that. We'll connect this up. And we'll come up over here and connect this up as well. And then I think we're going to do like a nice row of trees in here. This we would want a little more landscaped. Nope, not that one. So we'll come up over here, go like that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good because then we can even come in here and do these little, we'll do some flowers in here too. Nice. I feel like that's a really good addition to this area. Nice little flower bed. But then I got the rest of this done. I put this little pathway in here with some flowers and then some trees just so that people could kind of walk around. We did have an issue where I unpaused it without doing water, and so we had some abandonment. But then I did this small plaza here. I decided to do a planter with the water fountain. I didn't want to go too intense, but I wanted it to be welcoming when people first got here, and I think it's a really great addition for this area. I do want to try to put some planters in here, though. So I think if we come back in here and type in planter, and then scroll all the way down through my bajillion planters, we'll go to concrete. Yeah, and we'll just put a couple of these in here. Yeah, and then I'm going to go to bench, and I want to put some benches on here. And you know what? I like it. I think it looks good. We would want to leave this area open for ticketing and stuff. And so now the only thing left for us to do is kind of fill in the rest. I think we'll fill in this backside with concrete so we can do something similar to over here. I think it looks good, and we want to kind of follow that trend. So we'll come up here, fill this all in, fill that in. We'll probably fill this in too, and then come up this backside and go like this. Yeah, you know what? I think this is perfect. And then we will do some planters. So I'm just going to jump into some planters real quick and do the same thing that we did before. Just kind of line it with these planters. I think it looks really good, and it's a really easy way to capture a nice aesthetic within your city. Nice. I feel like that looks really good. I like how this is turning out. I like this whole island. I feel like we did a good job on this. We do need to put in some emergency services though. We kind of got ahead of ourselves a little bit. We definitely need a fire station. So we'll come up over here. Maybe we'll actually put it in the back right there. And then we would need to do police as well, since this would be kind of a rowdy area. So we'll come up over here and figure out a nice spot for this. Maybe just like right here on the corner. That would be good. And let's go ahead and do a medical facility as well, though I think there would definitely be one inside the stadium. I feel like having one in the area would be a great addition. And so I feel like this is looking really good. I like that we got the metro in. It does look like we have a weird tree clipping over here. Don't want that. So if we go like right there, and you know what? I feel like this is looking pretty good. I like how it's turning out. I do want to cover this up. So covering up those lines, go like that. Let's go ahead and cover this up as well. Let's see if anybody's using our, yeah, look, somebody's using it. And then let's go ahead and fill this in as well. Cover up the lines. Looks like we're having a little bit of a traffic backup here. Nothing too crazy. I think we will use that asymmetric here though. So we're going to go ahead and use the picker mod. Grab that 2-in-1 just so that people who are turning right can have their own lane from people who are turning left. And there you go. So we'll go like that. Perfect. That should really help out a lot. And we don't have any time traffic lights or anything right there, but I really don't think we need it. I don't really know. Oh, so we got like one person waiting. I'm not sure if that metro stop is going to become super popular or not, but all right. And so I think that looks really good. We did a lot today. I really like what we did. I like this little island. I like that we put in the bridges. I think this island over here is just incredible. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. This took a ton of effort. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so. It really helps out the channel a lot. I'm going to go ahead and do a cinematic of all of today's build. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, you will definitely enjoy the video on your screen at the end of the cinematic. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next episode.